and thank you for joining us today. On behalf of Holt Construction, welcome to our series, Get to Work on Terminal 8. The strategic programming we have created in partnership with American Airlines to engage, inform, and hire certified MWBEs, LBEs, and members of Queens community interested in working on the JFK Terminal 8 expansion. My name is Chris Asaro, and I serve as president of Holt Construction, a family-owned and operated full-service construction management and general contracting firm. If you have never worked with Holt before, you should know that when it comes to diversity and inclusion, our commitment is built from the top down and from the inside out. We have taken on the JFK Terminal 8 expansion like all of our other projects, and that includes creating a tailored, unique, and comprehensive diversity plan. I'm excited to kick off today's session, and I hope you find the information engaging and informative. On behalf of Holt, I want to thank all of you for taking the time to join us, and I look forward to connecting and working with you. Now it is my pleasure to welcome our project partner and familiar face to this project, Sade Older-Peckin-Lewis, Regional Director of Government and Airport Affairs at American Airlines Terminal 8.
Hello, everyone. On behalf of American Airlines and the John F. Kennedy International Airport Terminal 8 expansion, welcome to today's Get to Work session. My name is Sade Older-Peckin-Lewis, and I serve as the Regional Director of Government and Airport Affairs at American Airlines. JFK is getting ready to welcome a new American Airlines Terminal 8. The project will improve the overall customer experience with a total of 70,400 square feet of added space, including 33,000 square feet of public space. Another 57,500 square feet of existing space will be refurbished. To build the new Terminal 8, American Airlines and Holt Construction are committed to engaging, preparing, and hiring certified minority and women-owned business enterprises, MWBEs, local business enterprises, LBEs, and construction workers for the project. This series of programming entitled Get Ready to Work at Terminal 8 has been strategically designed for certified firms and the local community workforce who would like to work on the JFK Terminal 8 expansion. I want to sincerely thank you for taking time out of your busy day to attend today's session. As a small business owner, we know you have a lot on your plate, and we will be respectful of your time today. We are excited to host our first Opportunity Friday office hours. Today's programming will provide you with an opportunity to meet one-on-one with the team managing the American Airlines JFK Terminal 8 expansion. Different representatives will be on hand to talk about upcoming opportunities, your pre-qualification status, the project labor agreement, and any questions you have on the project. So grab your capability statement or any questions you have for us and get ready to network.
Thank you, Sade and Chris, and welcome everyone to today's Opportunity Friday. This afternoon, we will provide you with an important project overview and an update for the American Airlines JFK Terminal 8 expansion. My name is Alexandria Parati. I'm the Director of Corporate Initiatives and Strategic Planning at Holt Construction. Our first speaker is Alan Bates, Senior Project Manager at Holt Construction. Alan oversees all of the construction for the Terminal 8 project. He's going to give a project update. He will review what has been completed and what's up and coming and exciting at Terminal 8.
Thank you, Alex. So to introduce the project, this is the redevelopment of Terminal 8 to accommodate the co-location of British Airways and American Airlines. To that end, there are many sub-projects that form part of the program of works. The expansion of the head house, which is a 30-foot by 300-foot two-story expansion of the existing terminal building to accommodate new bag lines on the second floor, a new claims device on the first floor, and some support offices and a new substation. The expansion of the B concourse and new gates 18 and 20 is another significant portion of the project. The expanded hold room will service gates 18 and 20 with support office space on the first and second floors. The expansion of the B concourse and new gates 18 and 20 is another significant portion of the project. The expanded hold room will service gates 18 and 20 with support office space on the first and second floors. Level 4 offices are being redeveloped so we can vacate the future club space and transfer the occupants of that club space to new office purpose-built space on the 4th floor. On the C concourse, we will be redeveloping gates 31 and 32 from regional jets to wide body, large format planes. And on the north side of the sea concourse, we will be reconfiguring the fuel pits to match the revised fleet mix. On the east side of the terminal, where the former terminal once stood, there's an abandoned piece of airfield, which is going to be redeveloped for hard standing for four new large format planes. Project stands at the minute. The 30-foot bump out, which is the expansion of the head house, is substantially complete in terms of core and shell, and the interiors are ongoing. The first floor has not yet been awarded and represents a good opportunity for local and minority and women-owned business involvement. The expansion of the B concourse is currently out for bid, with bids being received currently, and that is likely to be awarded in the next 2 to 4 weeks. On the C concourse, that again was also bid recently and is pending awards. Upcoming projects include the CCTV program to enhance vision as part of the overall JFK development, a upgrade to the toilet rooms throughout the terminal. I believe there are 13 pairs of toilet rooms that are going to get upgraded, and a signage program which will enhance wayfinding throughout the terminal, as well as conforming to the new Port Authority branding. Another exciting part of this project is the premium services portion of it. There are two components: the premium check-in, which is upgraded check-in facilities for first class and business travelers, and the introduction of a new lounge for premium passengers. It's a jointly funded lounge between British Airways and American, and it offers tremendous opportunities for local and minority and women business enterprise involvement in the project. Okay, and with that, I will hand you over to my colleague Rosie, who will explain the pre-qualification process for involvement on the T8 project.
If you are interested in any of the above opportunities, please send an email to the Holt team at jfkt8@holtcc.com with the subject line JFK T8 pre-qualification request. Your email should include the following: opportunity you are interested in, your firm's trade, point of contact information, and once your request has been received, our team will start your pre-qualification process immediately. Please note that you must be pre-qualified prior to receipt of any bid packages, and if a proposal date has passed, please feel free to reach out to the team to inquire of any extension that may be granted. Also note that once you pre-qualify with Holt, not only are you pre-qualifying for the Terminal 8 project, but you are also pre-qualifying with the company as a whole. In order to be pre-qualified, you will be required to provide the following: you need a W-9, a completed pre-qualification form, a sample COI executed by an officer of your company, New York Holt Master Agreement, corporate HAS, litigation logs, corporate financial statements as prepared by CPA, EMR letter from your insurance carrier, and an MWBE certificate. COI requirements are as follows, and proof must be provided. General liability is $1 million, auto is $1 million, and umbrella liability is $5 million. All workers must have a OSHA 30, OSHA 10 with 20 hours of training. Secure Worker Access Controls, or a SWAC, is required to work on the Terminal 8 project.
Thank you, Rosie. The Terminal 8 project is under an Osip, an owner-controlled insurance program. American Airlines has provided for this project to be insured under an Osip. Commercial general liability, $5 million per occurrence, which is shared by insurance and applies to only on-site activities. Excess liability is $300,000 per occurrence, and participation in this OSIP is mandatory for all eligible parties, except for those who are identified as excluded parties. Let's go through who's included and who's excluded in the OSIP. Included in the OSIP are subcontractors providing labor services at the project site, and suppliers that perform or subcontract installation, temporary labor services, employee leasing companies providing direct labor, and joint ventures. Excluded parties from the OSIP are the following: subcontractors that do not perform any labor on or provide services at the project site, off-site fabricators, vendors, suppliers who do not perform or subcontract installation, material dealers, truckers, haulers, and drivers. Also excluded are hazardous material remediation, removal and or transport companies, subcontractors whose sole scope of work includes exterior installation or finish systems, any party providing demolition or blasting operations, manufacturing representatives, equipment rental companies who perform equipment erection, dismantling, and maintenance will be on site for no more than 5 business days. This does not apply to those who provide operators. Guard services and janitorial service companies are also excluded from the OSIP. Any other parties whom American Airlines elects to exclude from the OSIP are also included in that list. All subcontractors and vendors must still maintain their own insurance programs that meet the following requirements: CGL and excess liability for off-site activities, workman's comp, excess umbrella, and auto liability for both on-site and off-site activities. All eligible subcontractors may not include any insurance premium calculations in the cost of their work. For any questions regarding the OSIP specific to this project, please send an email to jfkt8@holtcc.com. Make the subject matter OSIP info. I also welcome you to go back to one of our previous sessions, which takes a deeper dive into an OSIP and what an OSIP is and how to navigate it. The Terminal 8 project is also under a project labor agreement, or a PLA. The project labor agreement for the Terminal 8 project allows for smaller, non-union firms to participate in the Terminal 8 project. Non-union work is capped at approximately 5% of the anticipated prime contract value, excluding any change orders. These non-union opportunities are applied equitably across all trades. The Terminal 8 team is committed to maximizing the positive economic impact of non-union local community contractors by offering smaller bid packages to increase the number of contracts that we can offer to MBEs, WBEs, and local businesses. Good afternoon, everyone. Before I bring back our panel for Q&A, let me go through the current opportunity for the Terminal 8 project. TAA2, head house expansion, 30-foot bump out, exterior closure, and interiors. This project is bidding currently, so please ensure that So the first question we have is, can we utilize the New York State OGS procurement contract and pricing to supply and support the project as a certified? And American Airlines, we support our veterans and veteran-owned businesses. We encourage all SDVOBs to email us at the JFK TA email, which will be at the chat. Send us your information and get started with your pre-qualification package. We will, of course, accept these bids, and we thank you for your service. Question number 2, is it possible to get the pre-qualification list requirements? So Rosie, could you answer that one, please?
So if you email us at jfkt8@holtcc.com, request a pre-qualification package, we'll send you all the requirements that are included. We'll have it all listed out and specifically highlighted to what the direction is to submit it.
Great. Thank you, Rosie. Alan, this next question is going to be for you. Are there any audio-visual opportunities in this project? If so, how do I get those bid documents? We are a registered vendor, Holt, already pre-qualified.
Right now, there isn't any audio visual. We anticipate potentially with some future packages that there will be some audio visual scope introduced to this project. It is unclear as we sit right now whether this will be owner direct or via Holt. And if it's procured via Holt, please register your interest. If you're already pre-qualified, we'll make sure the bids go to you via the usual channels, which is Building Connected.
Great. Alan, the next question is going to be for you again. Will there be a % for art allocations for public spaces and lounges?
Assuming that the % relates to minority or woman business participation, I would assume yes. I think there's an art package that the owner's procuring directly, and that will be directed towards artists from the local community. who are both minority and woman-owned businesses. So definitely there will be art included as part of this project, but I believe that's going to be an owner direct. But any expressions of interest that we receive, we will funnel to the correct people at the owners in the owners organization.
So even if it's not procured by Holt directly and it is procured by American Airlines, we want you to reach out to us at the JFK T8@holtcc.com email address and send us your qualifications, and we will pass them on to American Airlines. Next question, Rosie, who can people follow up with on the pre-qualification?
So once you send in your pre-qualification, it takes a little bit to go through the review process. If you are in question on where your status is, you can always send out an email to our main email address, and one of our team members will reach out to you, either myself or someone else from the whole team.
Perfect. And if you've submitted your pre-qualification and it has been a little while, make sure you email us and check your status. Don't just assume it's approved or rejected. Just make sure you email us. Alan, are there any BIM requirements for Terminal 8 project?
Yes, the project is a BIM coordinated project. We have put a small bid package out to select contractors. We have not yet made an award, and for future packages, there may be opportunities for somebody to assist with BIM integration. So submit the pre-qualification and we'll make sure that we speak to you. It will probably go outside the typical bid and we'll just solicit proposals directly.
Thank you, Alan. Next question is when are bids solicited and where can we find them? So I'll take that one. So we do not release bid packages for the Terminal 8 project to vendors that are not qualified. So you have to be pre-qualified in order to receive bid packages for the Terminal 8 project. So make sure that you set up your pre-qualification, you have all of your documents in. If you have any questions on your pre-qualification or how to complete it, make sure you email us at the JFKT8@holtcc.com email address, and we'll be happy to help you. Next question. Alan, this is going to be for you. I work with a testing lab that services the tri-state area. We do window, curtain wall leakage testing, membrane testing, and more. We would be doing the same pre-qualifying steps highlighted as well, correct?
We're not going to procure testing separate from the subcontractors. The owner's third-party inspector will be attending any factory testing. They've already been selected by the owner, so unfortunately that opportunity's gone. The curtain wall is in the process of getting awarded and will be awarded within the next week. Who they use for their own internal QA testing, or the lab that they go to for the mock-up testing and the assembly testing, that's to the that we will leave that to the subcontractor to select. But if you want to forward your contact information, we will pass that on to the subcontractors so they are aware of your firm, and we would leave it to them to contract with you directly and vet you out in terms of suitability for the project.
Great. Thank you, Alan. The next question is, I recently received my approval from Holt. I am a WBE safety training and consulting firm. Is there a way to make my information available to current subcontractors that might need training and would benefit from a WBE owned company? So I will answer that question. So for everyone joining us, within the next 3 weeks, we have an exciting new platform that we are going to launch as part of our Opportunity Fridays. It is going to give you all the ability to speak directly to subcontractors who have already received contracts and are working on the projects. So if you want to work with them, this is a great way for you to get in touch with them directly. So that is something that Holt is going to launch in the next couple of weeks. So make sure you keep tuning into our Opportunity Fridays so you can get the exact date for that, that event. Oh, Alan, will there be hoisting and scaffolding opportunities on this project?
Sorry, the feed broke up there, Alice. Can you repeat the question?
Will there be opportunities for hoisting and scaffolding firms for this project?
Yes, please just submit your pre-qualification to the email JFK8 and we'll reach out to you. There's not going to be a huge amount of scaffolding, but there's definitely opportunities. It's going to be some sidewalk sheds, some stair access and egress towers, and some access platforms within the building. So there is some, it's not a huge scope of work, but definite opportunities exist there.
Great. Alan, the next question, I know you answered this one, but this is a bit of a deeper dive into that question. Is there any 3D laser scanning and BIM RFPs available? We are.
3D laser scanning for the project was already performed. They did a LiDAR of the existing bag hall. We don't anticipate further LiDARs for the building. It was really part of the data gathering for the architectural, the creation of the model in Revit. So unfortunately, that opportunity has passed. But again, pre-qualify, we never know what's around the corner here.
Okay.
So there could be opportunities in the future, but as yet to be defined.
That's great. Thank you, Alan. Another one for you, Alan. Is there a way to request additional portions of work sent over to bid? Currently, we have been sent over framing and drywall packages for 3 separate T8 projects, but we are curious how to get involved in other interior scopes of work.
In terms of, it's unclear whether this is specific to Terminal 8 or whether it's specific to business-to-business relationship with Holt Construction. In terms of the business-to-business relationship with Holt Construction, anyone who's pre-qualified via the JFK T8 has been furnished to the entire estimating department. Would recommend kind of pinging us and trying to set up a one-on-one with the estimating department in the markets in which you're interested in participating. If it's specific to Terminal 8, everything will be issued via the building connected thing as and when new packages arise. Some of them are held up with design and some of them are pending redesign. A lot of the bids that we've received, we're in the process of reviewing, and obviously when we come to the descope, we will let you know that where you guys stood and whether you're in line for wine award.
Great. And if I could add to that, if you're only receiving packages for framing and drywall and you're looking to get packages for another trade, just check your qualification and make sure you did submit for those other trades, because that could be what's hindering you from getting those opportunities. So make sure you go back into our building connected system and see what you are clicked off on.
And sorry, can I add something there? So if you receive the bid packages, you receive all of the drawings. If there's scope of work that you're seeing on the drawings that is over and above the package that you've been invited to, for example, if you also do painting and we sent you the drywall package, just message the estimating team via Building Connected and we'll send you the appropriate scopes of work for the any of the packages that you're interested to. So it's an open and a two-way conversation there. If you guys see something that you want to price or you think you're suitably qualified to price, let the estimators know and they'll make sure that they connect you with the appropriate scopes of work.
Right. And please make sure, because our estimators are included on the JFK T8 email address. So send all of your questions to that. Make sure you put in the subject line what you're looking for, so the appropriate person can pick up your email. Alan, is there any network infrastructure or system integration work involved in the Terminal 8 project?
Yes, there's going to be multiple packages associated with that. So register your interest via JFK T8, and if you're pre-qualified, you should be receiving your bid.
Great.
Bid invitation to bid.
Great. Alan, are there noise specifications? Is there going to be noise mitigation for this project? And if so, which phases do you anticipate requiring noise mitigation, if any?
I'm a little unclear as to what they mean by noise mitigation. If they mean physical sound attenuation barriers, to my knowledge, I don't think there's anything there. I know that there's, if it's to do with acoustical testing, I know that there's sound rating on the curtain wall that will need to achieve that and probably need to be backed up by calculations and possibly a mock-up. So send an email to JFK T8 with a more comprehensive question, and we'll try and answer it as completely as possible.
Perfect. Next question. Will there be bids for printing projects, including blueprints and signage at this time?
That's not a trade that we typically bid. I think every so often we evaluate our vendors for printing. We spread the work around depending on the location of the prints to be delivered. So we're always looking for more competitive pricing on bids and local community involvement, as well as minority and woman-owned business enterprise involvement in all projects across Holt Construction. So I contact us via JFK T8. It's a less stringent pre-qualification for a printing vendor, and we will review your rates and have a look and see if we can do business.
Great. Alan, are there any physical security aspects within the project? For example, physical security, meaning cameras, card access. I know we have that already set up for Terminal 8 and we have a contractor, but would there be future scopes?
Yes, there's a security access camera on the second floor, is in the customs area, and it's expansion of a port authority system which has a prescribed vendor. Outside of that, there's a CCTV expansion and addition program that's yet to be designed. Once that's designed, we'll be going out to bid for that. So there's definite scope for card readers, CCTV, etc.
Okay.
In the future.
Rosie, this question's for you. Specifically for an architect or an engineer, I know that's outside of Holt's scope, but how do we handle when an architect or an engineer wants to pre-qual or get on the project? How is that handled?
So normally what happens is you'll send us the email at JFK-T8. We will take your information, we'll request a capability statement for your firm. And what we do is we'll take that over and we'll flip it to our client and have them utilize it. Since it's out of Holt scope, we can't do much with it, but we do ensure that the client is aware of your firm.
Great. Thank you, Rosie. The next question, their plumbing supply needs separate from GCs. If not, how do we connect with Prime? So like I said before, within the next 3 weeks, we're going to have a new platform that's going to be part of our Opportunity Fridays, where you're going to be able to connect directly with our plumbing contractors, our electrical contractors, our steel contractors, all of the contractors that have already received contracts and are working at the Terminal 8 project. So this is a way for all of the suppliers, smaller vendors to go and speak to these contractors and hopefully get opportunities from them as well. So we're branching out and we're opening up our opportunities, not only between Holt and American Airlines, but with our subcontractors. So we can bolster the amount of contracts and the amount of participation. So definitely keep checking back with us for that event, which is in the next 3-4 weeks. It's in April. It's on the Terminal 8 website. Make sure you look at that and you join us for that event. Alan, are there going to be any seating or furniture opportunities? You're on mute, Alan. So for furniture opportunities, Alan's having a little trouble with his mute button. Furniture right now is direct procure from American.
Sorry, I think I muted myself instead of unmuted myself. Apologies.
That's okay, Alan. It's Friday.
Yeah, furniture is likely going to be owner direct. There is a first class lounge which is going to have some upholstery. So I'm not sure whether we're talking loose furniture or upholstery here, but either way, register your interest with your with an overview of the furniture types that you guys provide. There is some office furniture opportunities again, but that's owner direct. So we would, if it's not something the project's going to procure directly, we will connect you with the appropriate people in the owners' organizations.
Great. Alan, another question. There was a walkthrough for the American Airlines British Air Lounge that was canceled. Is that going to be rescheduled? And how do we handle walkthroughs, or if a contractor wants to see a site during, we're still in COVID? So how do we handle that as an organization?
Obviously, like you addressed, COVID is a challenge to walkthroughs. Right now, if we deem a walkthrough necessary for a complete bid, we will arrange a walkthrough for a complete bid. I'm not specifically involved with the lounge, so I would have to, if they can resend the question via an email to jfkt8@holtcc.com, I'll have the individual estimator involved reach out to the firms if they're pre-qualified to go over any walkthrough requirements that they feel they may need to submit a complete bid.
That's great. Alan, the next question is, I'm a supplier of tile and stone. You mentioned 13 toilet rooms. Are the designers selecting the products?
I would assume the designers are selecting the products. I think the process that they're going to go through is the designers are going to propose products to the Port Authority. The Port Authority Design Review Committee are going to review and comment on them. So there's a process where there's Port Authority and possibly New York State involvement in the design selection for the overall toilet renovation program. And following that, the design will be selected and specified. I don't know too much about what that process is going to be. So, and I don't know how much influence a supplier can have over the overall aesthetics. So it's really going to be, the specification is going to be driven from the top down.
Great. Thank you, Alan. I think that's the last of our questions for this afternoon. So I wanted to thank our panelists for joining us today. I'd like to thank everyone for joining us again. And next week, we're going to be talking about insurance. The question is, are you covered, and what you need to know about your insurance coverage? So we're going to have a representative from Alliant here to discuss any insurance questions that you guys have. You could bring copies of your own policies so you could ask specific questions. So please feel free to join us again next week at 12. And make sure you look for our new platform that we're reaching out to everyone, so you could talk directly to our subs, and you're going to be able to talk directly to our Terminal 8 team again. And thank you all for joining us, and have a great weekend. Thank you.